Om Gham Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Parabrahmane Vidmahe Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohana Prachodayat. Om Parabrahmane Vidmahe Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohana Prachodayat. Om Parabrahmane Vidmahe Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohana Prachodayat. Hello everyone. Namaste and welcome to yet another session on Hello Life. Today I'm going to start with a Sanskrit shloka. The shloka is Apav Apohishta Mayo Bhuvaha Sthana Urje Tadadana Maheranaya Sakshushe. The meaning of the shloka is, O waters, you are the source of all happiness. Bless me with health and vitality and make us all see great things. This is the meaning of the shloka. So, today, as you would have probably guessed it, the topic is about waters. Before getting into the actual subject, I would want to trace back to my memory of water. During the school days, in the English subject, I can't remember which class it was, maybe the ninth standard, if I'm not wrong, in high school. There was this very specific chapter called Water, the Elixir of Life. That particular word, elixir, was the first time I was introduced to it, and I was amazed by it when I understood the meaning of it. I was very below average student as far as curriculum was concerned, but somehow I liked my English teacher for her proficiency, and most importantly, she saw me as her son of all the other teachers I had in my school. So I had a very special bonding with her, and I was always very eager to attend my English classes. This chapter was something that was very close to my heart during the school days, because we talk about water, its source, its origin, what it does, etc. Even at that time, I had this question: what is water? We all know water as a molecule, two hydrogen, one oxygen, H2O. But we didn't know anything beyond that, beyond what this chemical component is. And we all knew what water is and why it is essential, because it is vital for our existence. So, this is one part. The second part is, even in younger years, when you used to watch television, like unlike today, where you have so many channels and you get to see anything and everything, including someone's private, lives and whatnot. Back then in India, if you turn on the TV, all you will see is epics, Mahabharata or Ramayana, or something about village, right? Vayalum Varvum, all about your farm and how your life is in the farm. That's all. Um, I was always intrigued, especially when these epics gets played, where you see a sage who is in very deep penance, doing tapas, and there is some guy who does something really silly that triggers the sage, that breaks his meditation or tapas, and then he takes water from his kamandal, pours in his hand, and then prays, and then splashes on this individual who did something stupid. And then he says, Inda pidi sabam, hold my curse. Right? I used to laugh at it. I never could correlate why the sage has to take water and then do that prayer, or say whatever he has to say, intensify, and then splash. That is the subject that we are going to talk today, which is water carries memories, right? Let's start with stories. I like stories. I am starting to read more and more stories, and I enjoy sharing stories with you. We are going to Mahabharata period once again. Day before yesterday, when we spoke about how a thought can create karma, we spoke about a story of King Ambarisha and sage Durvasa, the most fearsome sage. He was dreaded by all the three lokas, the heavens, the earth, and Patala Loka. Today, our character for our story, this is all documented in the epic, by the way. It's not being made up by me. Durvasa and Draupadi. This is long before the Mahabharata war happened in Kurukshetra. Sage Durvasa was bathing. Sage Durvasa was bathing in a river. The water current removed his clothes and took away. Now, the most feared sage is standing in the water, neck deep water, helpless, his clothes gone. Now, Draupadi was there. Draupadi was taking bath in that river in the nearby area. She saw sage Durvasa, his clothes taken away in the water because she could see the clothes floating. Without any hesitation, Draupadi tore half of her clothing and gave it to sage Durvasa. Sage was extremely pleased. And then the sage blessed Draupadi that you will never lack covering when you need the most. You will never lack covering when you need the most. That was the blessing sage Durvasa gave to Draupadi. This happened on the river bank. Water was the witness, was water held that memory. Fast forward, Draupadi is dragged into the courtyard of Duryodhana because the Pandavas lost in the dice game. They had used Draupadi as one of the bets. All the five brothers who married Draupadi had their head down, ashamed for whatever they have done. They lost her wife in the game. Dushasana starts removing Draupadi's clothes. You would have probably seen this in videos in the Mahabharata, episodes, etc. As Dushasana starts removing Draupadi's clothes, the clothes keep coming. That sari is never ending. She is like, spinning, spinning, and spinning. And he is removing the clothes. It's not ending at all. Dushasana gets really tired. And in that epic video, you will see Lord Shri Krishna standing and the sari is coming out of his palm. Before Krishna appeared and sari started happening eternally, Draupadi was calling Lord Krishna. She was saying, Dwaraka Vasa. Lord Krishna went to Dwaraka. She said, Pandharpur Vasa. He went to Pandharpur. And then finally, Draupadi said, Hridaya Vasa. Oh Lord, the one who stays in my heart. The moment she says Hridaya Vasa, Lord Krishna appeared and he saved her. Now, you may ask, what is the connection between the river bank and Lord Krishna saving? While it is very true that Lord Krishna bestowed the clothing, two things needs to be noted here. One, this happened on the river bank when the sage gave her the boon that she will never be dearth of covering when it needed the most. water retained. That karma that happened at that point in time was fulfilled in the presence of Lord Krishna through Lord Krishna. She was blessed. That's the story that we would want to get started. Now, second story is least known story. This comes in Skanda Purana, Kashi Kanda. There is this person by name Vahika. Vahika is his name. Now, this Vahika has nothing good to talk about. He is an absolute sinner. He did no good deeds. Okay? He is an absolute sinner, no good deeds. There is nothing in the tradition that you can say this is something good. Like even the minutest of things, even one simple act of goodness, he never performed anything. Vahika was an absolute sinner. Okay? Now, Vahika was killed by a tiger. Killed a tiger, ambushed him completely. It killed him. Now, Vahika's soul goes to Yamaloka, goes in front of Lord Yama. So there you would have heard Chitragupta, the one who basically keeps accounts of our Papa Punya, the good deeds and the bad deeds. Okay, Chitragupta, Yama basically asks. So if you watch this television, you would probably see, a person walking in. Technically, that is a soul that is walking in, and then Yama says, Chitragupta, read his good deeds and bad deeds. Chitragupta turns a book and then looks at the page and says, Yama, these are all the good deeds, these are all the bad deeds. All right. Now, Chitragupta opens his page. All he sees is only bad deeds. There is not a single good deed for Vahika. Yama, it's a no brainer decision for him. Yama says, go to hell. Okay. Now, Yamatudas, the people who assist Yama, they take him towards hell. So this happens in the astral plane, right? In the Yamaloka, basically, not astral plane, in Yamaloka. On the ground, on earth, what happened? Vahika was killed by a tiger. Vultures started ripping his body apart. One vulture grabbed his foot bone and started flying. A second vulture started chasing. In the aerial fight between the two vultures, the foot bone fell in river Ganges. As soon as the bone fell in river Ganges, there was a heavenly chariot that appeared. It stopped the Yamatudas from taking Vahika to hell. Vahika jumped into the chariot and Vahika went to heaven. You saw what happened here? An absolute sinner, no good deed whatsoever, was sentenced to go to hell. His foot bone falls into river Ganges. Chariot comes, takes him to heaven. What does this mean? Mother Ganges started at Vishnu's pada or foot, ended up in Shiva's matted hair. Shiva has Ganges in his matted hair, and that's where it flows, right? Where on her banks, sages from across Bharata sat and meditated, did intense tapasya. All of that good deeds was stored, archived by Mother Ganges, right? When this bone fell there, Vahika was purified and Vahika went to heaven. Which is why, even today, if you see, they all say you have to go to river Ganges and you have to take dip to remove all your sins, because that contains that intense energy, the positive energy that can literally strip every impurity of yours at a thought level, word level, action level, everything, and cleanse you completely and get you ready for liberation. Water. Water has the power to help you, aid you in the liberation process. Okay? Which is why they say You go to Kashi, you die there in Kashi, in Varanasi, and then if you're the ashes, when they get immersed in Ganges, sure shot, there is a opportunity for liberation because Ganges cleanses everything, water cleanses everything. Very, very important thing for us to note. Water as active archive. Water archives everything. Water stores memories. Water simply carries. Water doesn't distinguish between whether it is worthy or it is not worthy. And it treats everybody equal, just like all the masters, just like what Mohanji does today. He does not, when a person goes in front of Mohanji, Mohanji delivers, just like how a water delivers. He does not look at where is his origin, what is his state, what has he done to come in front. Mohanji knows, Mohanji says that whoever comes in front of him is sent by the tradition and his job is to deliver. Just like how a job of Ganges is to deliver, how it delivered to Vahika. Somebody who was meant to go to hell went to heaven only because a bone of his fell in Ganges. Mother Ganga delivered, water delivered, Master delivers, Mohanji delivers. Now, this may all sound very mythical, philosophical, etc. Let's look at the real picture. We have three kinds of tears, right? You have happy tears, you have sad tears, and you have tears if and when you chop onions. How many of you do it? I don't know. I do it pretty much every day, and I have decent amount of tears every day. Now, if you were to look at this very closely, a tear that gets shed because of heaviness, because something is holding you, something out of grief or anger or frustration, that tear is very heavy tear. It doesn't just dribble, it's very slow, it's very sticky. If you were to observe very closely, after you felt really heavy, the water would not just come out automatically, stagnates, it holds there, and then when it flows, you will feel your cheeks etc is very sticky. You have to go and wash your face. Releases stress hormone cortisol. Happy tears, your heart is fully open, you are in joy, the tears flows down. When you meet masters, when you enter the shrine of say Shirdi Sai Baba or Akkalgot Swami, or if you go to Ramana Maharishi's ashram, anywhere, or you go to any temple that you are deeply connected with, tears starts rolling down your eyes, through your cheeks. That is not heavy tears if you observe it really close. That is very diluted, right? And then, third, the most annoying, irritating tears of chopping onions. So, what does it tell us? Your body releases water. Your body is made 70% of water, right? It releases water. But due to your feelings, the composition of the water changes if you really closely watch it. It's the same water that comes out, but your feeling changes the molecular slash chemical composition of that water. One is heavy, releasing stress hormone. One is releasing the relaxed hormone. The other one is the irritating one, right? So technically, it's one eye, one set of tears, but different composition. Something for us to hold this thought, because water carries memories, right? I want to get into Mohanji's words now. This is very, very important, and I'm going to read these words exactly as is. Okay. Mohanji says, we are made of five elements. Jal or water is one. It is not outside us, it is us. We are not saying it is within us, it is us. We are water. Okay? Water is a living thing. In the molecular level, there is movement, there is life. The water element makes changes in your system or frequencies. Every element is talking to you, it is communicating. Mohanji goes on to say, cleaning rivers are cleaning our nadis. Cleaning rivers are cleaning our nadis. When you clean the waters outside, it is almost like cleaning our nervous system. It is equal to cleaning our consciousness. What amazing words. Cleaning water outside is like cleaning your nervous system. It is equal to cleaning your consciousness. So, an act of cleaning river is not merely an activity, rather, it is an activity you are doing good to yourself because it cleanses your consciousness. We have 72,000 nadis. By cleaning the water body outside, you are basically cleaning all those channels inside. It gives us an opportunity to cleanse completely and aid you in the process of liberation. Jivan Mukti. You have that opportunity. Why? Because you are water. All right. Now, we spoke about the practical aspect. We spoke about the mythical slash philosophical aspect. Let's get into the scientific aspects of water. In year 1990, I believe, Dr. Masuru Emoto, he did a study. While it is debatable today as to what he studied, the method he approached, method he used, etc., but the work is very closely observed even today, and there are further research happening. What did he research? He took two water. Okay, he took water in two separate containers. On one of those water container, he gave all good vibrations, mantras, music, positive words, the feeling of love and gratitude, levitating energy. That is to one container that had water. The second container was all energy that pulls you down, abuse, hateful words, anger, frustration, all the energy that makes you dense was channeled to that water. He froze that water and looked at the molecular structure slash the chemical structure. What he observed there was the water that had all the positive energy, the energy of love and gratitude and levitating frequency, the water structure was perfect symmetrical crystal. Okay. The water that went through the dense emotions, dense energies, etc., resulted in a broken, chaotic structure. Now, what does this mean? The coherence of the water is essential for cleansing, right? Further research done by our own Dolph, Eric, and then that started the Anelama or the Somarka, and now they are moving into even advanced state such as Aqua Solara. Through these various things, I should be very honest, when this was introduced, I still remember in 2020 in Tiruvannamalai in Arunachala, the first ever Somarka stick was launched by Mohanji and Moji Baba. That was the first time I see this stick. And Madhu was talking so high about this particular project. And most importantly, Mohanji was talking about the coherence, the importance of the state and whatnot. Me being an absolute skeptic, at that point in time, I was thinking for myself, what are they even talking about? All you have is a stick, and then you stir for 30 seconds, 15 seconds, you drink water, and everything is good. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was my very first honest reaction to Somarka. But one thing was always certain: if Mohanji says, I had full faith in him, right? While my logical mind might question, I had full faith in my master, whatever he says, right? If he says jump off the cliff, I will, because of the faith. Okay. That very aspect, and doesn't mean that I simply take it, right? I have to understand this further for myself. My master is saying something. Definitely there is some merits. What am I learning further from there? And then I started looking more and trying to understand about this coherent structure and whatnot. And I was convinced that the coherent structure of the water is very essential, and it helps in a healthy living, right? In our ashram as well, in our center, Mohanji Center of Benevolence, I can give you one striking example. Right at the entrance, we have a huge dam, right? It's a huge dam. It's probably 4 meter deep, is what I was told. I have never measured it, right? And it's very long and wide as well, right? You can actually bring in an helicopter. Actually, this was done for that purpose to some extent, where you can draw water in the case of bushfire from the chopper, right? It's that big. That water was extremely muddy. All you will see is brown sediment. There was no life whatsoever, absolutely nothing. Last year, we got that commercial Somarka pipe that was donated to us by Dolph. Thank you so much, Dolph, for that. It literally transformed that water. Now, if you so go and see that water, it's crystal clear, that particular water that we have there. I even was brave enough to taste that water. Earlier, I would not even step into that water. Now I was brave enough to taste that water, and it was brilliant. Okay. All they did was Neil and our local friend Johnny, they took water, the same water. So you take the water from the dam and then you ran it through the Somarka pipe and then you put the water back into the dam. That's all they did. Okay. And that has already transformed. All the plants that we have here in Nirviji tunnel, etc., we pass on that particular water. The coherent water is what goes through all of those. And now we are in the process of installing those pipes so we can drink the Somarka water as well. Why is this essential? Because it gives us the water in its closest slash original state. Okay. Closest slash original state. The coherence. Very, very important, because water carry memories, and it is very essential for us to drink a water, because nowadays water comes through various sources. You see, they say even a bottled water, they say it is from Himalayan ranges, it's a spring water, etc., but it's all chemically processed water that we are drinking. If you drink a tap water, you smell chlorine in it, right? You literally smell chlorine in it. So it is important for us to restore the original state of water. Okay. um, this is what we have known so far, and we have understood that water carries memories, and it is important for us to consume the water with full awareness, because what we have been doing till date is consumption without any awareness. You go, you stand in the shower, you turn on the shower, water comes, all the thoughts go in your head. Okay. In Sanskrit they say snan. The first snan is a very important snan, right? Because you have an opportunity to cleanse yourself completely, which is why they chant the mantra Gangai cha yamunai cheva Krishna Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannithim Guru. So you are basically invoking the blessings of all the rivers. We are saying, please come, please transform this into the holy water with your blessings. Basically, you invoke all those holy river streams and allow you to wash. Another quick example, or a story. This was in 2021, 22, I can't remember. Rajesh Kamath used to do Homa every single day, right? One day, Mohanji receives a message from Feroz in Dubai. Says, Rajesh is not getting ready properly. He was simply going into the shower, standing in the shower, thinking whatever stuff that he had to, comes and sits and starts Homa. Mohanji then told him, hey, he is sitting in Dubai and he is able to see and tell me what you are doing. When you take bath, like right from the time you get up, you enter the water, you have to cleanse yourself completely, you have to purify yourself completely, then only you get ready to go and sit in the homa and perform the homa. I think Rajesh will be able to articulate this better. But this is a real story. I was there when Mohanji was telling this to Rajesh about how it is important for us to cleanse ourselves completely to get ready to perform any of the activities. So today's closing things: three activities. Number one, whenever you drink water, you have a glass of water, you take water, you pray to water, you show your love and gratitude to water, and pray to water to cleanse your inner self completely, to cleanse you totally. So we become pure inside, right? Just a simple chant is enough. People who can chant, you can always chant Gangai cha Yamunai cheva mantra, because then you are invoking the essence of all the holy rivers into the water and you are consuming. Then it becomes holy water. You know the story of Vahika. His bone fell in Ganges and he attained liberation. You have an opportunity as well by invoking the blessings of Ganga in the water that you are drinking. First thing. Second thing, when you take shower, when you stand in the water, feel the water from your head to the toe. Feel it completely. Feel as if it is washing away every layer of yours completely. Be in that oneness with water when it does the cleansing, when you are doing the bathing. Always have gratitude to water. You are water, you carry water, and it is important for us to pass nothing but good, positive, gratitude, loving memory to water. Just that awareness is enough, nothing more, nothing else. There is a very important chant. It is Apavitrah Pavitrova Sarvavasthan Gatopi va Yasmaret Pundari Kaksham Sabagya Abhyantara Suchihi. While this doesn't relate directly to the water element, it basically says pure or impure. In whatever condition, whoever remembers the holy feet becomes clean outwardly and inwardly. Cleansing happens through water. Always remember this. I thank Mohanji for introducing me to Somarka, for introducing me to the concept of coherent water, for making me do this checks and to offer it to you. And as always, everything at his holy feet. Kayena vacha, manasendhrirva, buddhyatmana va, prakrite swabhavat, karomi yadhyat sakalam parasmai, narayanayeti samarpayami. Mohanji Charanam Sharanam Prabhatye. Thank you everyone for joining and hope to see you tomorrow once again. Thank you.